Every individual can influence the lives of so many through virtual or even personal social networks. I ask you, what will you do with the knowledge you have learned over the last week? Who could benefit from the new information that you now know? How will you reach new people, new friends, new allies, and new advocates in the making? We cannot continue to be speaking amongst ourselves behind closed doors. Instead, we must amplify our message to the world. We must constantly challenge ourselves to get out of our personal comfort zones and share what we know to new people. Use our influence to change hearts and minds, for that is the antidote to stigma and discrimination. I ask you, what would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your neighborhood school teacher so that they understand that young people have the right to comprehensive sex education? What would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your local police chiefs so that they treated people who use drugs with compassion instead of with a barbaric bludgeon of violence, abuse, and often death? What would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your local Congress or parliamentary representative to understand that sex workers deserve to be protected under international labor laws and be free to work in a safe and healthy environment? What would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your local doctors or nurses so that they treated every faggot, whore, junkie, bakla, warrior, addict, money boy, call girl, pufta, dyke, katui, hydra, freak, or queer like a person? What would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your brothers, uncles, or cousins so that they respect the women in their lives, as well as the right of a woman to make her own decisions about her body? What would it take for you to change the hearts and minds of your parents so that they could stand beside you on your fight for social justice and human rights, and maybe stand beside you at the next conference or a picket line? I know and acknowledge that some things won't change. I know with certainty that we cannot force people of faith to change their belief under duress. But in the same way, they cannot change the fact that I and many like me are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. But as a compromise, we must find a way to disagree peacefully and with mutual respect. So, as we plan what comes next, when we leave the doors of this conference, I hope the words of a man who was the epitome of someone who constantly stepped out of his comfort zone will resonate in your mind. I paraphrase Harvey Milk by saying, the only thing we have to look forward to is hope. We have to give people hope. Hope for a better world, hope for a better tomorrow. My hope is that the HIV that is running through my veins and in the veins of 33 million people around the world will soon be cured. My hope is that that cure will be wrapped in compassion and put an end to the stigma and discrimination that we all see and finally get rid of it once and for all. Thank you.
welcome the